It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show with J.Hall and DJ Akademiks.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Let's get it.
Gia, what's good? Myself, J.Hall, this guy right here, DJ Akademiks. What's up, my brother?
What's happening, man? How you feeling?
I'm better, bro. I ain't gonna front. I'm a lot better. I'm a lot better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're alive.
I'm alive. You know, it was looking bad for me,
Gonna
man.
live.
I'm not gonna tell no lie. You know, I went out of town. My fault. This is Hip Hop Matrix Show. What's good?
Yeah, by the way.
We was off for a little second. Yeah, man. I went out of town, and I was in New York, and I was jogging in Prospect Park actually, and it rained. And you know, it's pollen season, and I really saw myself when I was running out of Prospect Park, inhaling all of the pollen. Like I could see the pollen floating in the air. And man, let me say, I said the next day I had a bad cough.
Oh, man.
Then I was done.
Yeah, that pollen, them allergies ain't no joke. They be getting me too.
Bro, I was done. So, you know, my voice sound a little bad, but I'm trusting me 10 times better because I was in the bed for like 4 days straight. Went to the doctor and everything. But you gotta go to the doctor, bro. You gotta go to the doctor because couldn't find out I had I had an ear infection. I was like, I ain't had that since I was a kid.
Yeah, so he was like 4 years old.
Yeah, bro. But check it out. They gave me mad legal drugs. Oh my God!
Cause you got high.
Woo! And you know I don't do anything, so
high.
Woo! I was out of sight, out of mind, man. I had a dream. I was in middle school rollerblade skating. I had a dream I was in Do the Right Thing. I had a dream I was in Game of Thrones. Like it was bad. It was real bad. It was real bad. It's been all good though, man. How you been?
I can't complain. Keeping these records spinning. You know, just continue to push it, man. But we got a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, first thing first. I don't know if you got a chance to check it. Jay-Z did his, I'm not going to say annual because last time he did it was like maybe a few years ago, his B-side concert, and it was at Webster Hall in NYC. He
reopened Webster Hall.
Oh, it was closed?
Yeah, he reopened it.
I didn't know the history or the significance of it. Okay, so he reopened it. And, you know, he performed with Nas, but he also performed with Jim Jones and Cameron.
Yeah, they performed I Really Mean It.
They performed Really Mean It. Welcome to New York City.
You know, the Rockefeller records.
Yeah.
You gonna perform something that benefits me.
Yeah. And he also closed it out with a tribute to Nipsey.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a few things to break down.
About gentrification.
Yeah, it's a few things to break down in there. So, first of all, how important do you think it is for Ho to kind of like do the B-sides? And is there a B-side record that you really wish he would perform that you never heard him perform?
It's a couple of them, but I can't give it to you right now. I like the record with him and Mary J. Blige, actually. The You're Welcome record. So.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
You're Welcome record.
They went on tour with that one.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I would say.
I didn't go to the tour, so I didn't hear him perform.
Yeah, I would say You Must Love Me. You Must Love Me. I've never heard Ho perform You Must Love Me. Like, to me, that was the perfect song for him to perform when he did Unplugged years ago.
Yeah.
But he's never... But, you know, I can imagine some of them songs could be triggering. You know what I mean? Like, especially certain songs when he wasn't too far removed. Like, them songs that came out, like, in 98, 99.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't too far removed from the street. And I wonder how he feels performing certain, you know, them pre-Beyonce songs, pre-Kids songs. Yeah, because it's like, you know, Hov had a whole life, and, you know, we've been entertained by it, but there's been some sorrow, especially when you think about songs like You Must Love Me, Just Can't Be Live, songs like that. You know, he really sounded like he was going through something. So I wonder, like, what kind of effect does that have on somebody, and maybe that's why we don't.
Daddy, where have you been?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, so I wonder, like, is that why we don't get that annually?
Probably. But, I mean, the fact that they're just busy as hell. I mean, he does have a whole sport and agency company. He does have Dipset. He does have Beyonce. I mean,
And he does have Beyonce. That's a full-time job.
That's a full-time job.
He's a father.
Yeah, and he is a father. He got 3 kids now. So, I mean, there's a lot to do.
Do you think the performance with him, Cameron, and Jim Jones, you think that's, like, too late? Right on time? What'd you think about that? Or it's going to go over people's heads?
I think it's good for the culture. It's going to go over people's heads. But, I mean, it's good for the culture. I don't think it's too late. I think it's right on time. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a lot to become of it. I mean, don't look for no joint album or Ho to be popping up with 4 features on there.
Well, you know, a lot of people forgot that Jim had been squashed it. Jim's on Rock Nation last time I checked.
He's been with Rock Nation for a while.
I think Cam was the last
3-4 Rock Nation brunches. Like,
but that beef ran deep for a second because, for example, I don't think they could play Dipset records inside the 4040 Club.
Yeah, I mean, Ballin' was the last one. After that, they squashed right after that.
Are you the one that told me when you were DJing you couldn't do no records? No Dipset records for Rockefeller Nation? I think that might be somebody else I know. For Rock Nation.
That wasn't.
I knew some DJs that was like, yeah, man, I couldn't play no Dipset record. And you're right, it was when Dipset was like hot.
Yeah, it was when the We Fly High record was out. That's when he was feeling himself. Yeah.
The last time he did B-sides, he had brought Benny on, Benny Siegel on stage when we thought him and Beans had, fell out. So see, like Hov is, I would say his last maybe like 10 years, he's been doing real good at kind of like, rebuilding relationships with people. But the thing is, with him, Cameron, and Jim, we never got a chance to really see them be buddy-buddy because by the time Dipset was on Rockefeller, they was pretty much already beefing. You know what I'm saying? So we never really got a chance to see like a bunch of pictures of them with
Dame Dash just backdoored them.
Yeah. So we never really got a chance to see that fellowship. So I'm not sure like how I felt about it, but Jim was very open about the beef one time, and he said it hurt going against Hov and going against Nas because they looked up to them. So he was like, that really wasn't a game behind closed doors. Like they felt hurt about that. They just really wanted their respect. So I always felt personally that Jim was more of a fan of Hov than he was of an enemy, even in the highlight of their quote unquote beef.
You just hurt my feelings.
Yeah, Jim is on record saying how he's an emotional thug. Jim will beat you while he's crying. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even like a secret. So I wonder how that phone call went. Like, you call up Cam, you call up Jim, and you have Cam. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder how that went. But the show went dope though. What you think about the freestyle tribute to Nipsey and then talking about buying back the hood and all stuff like that?
Gentrify your own hood. That was great. I mean, that's just classic Hov for you in his pocket. I mean,
would you say to some of the critics that was like I saw somebody online I was going back and forth with, and they was like, well, I don't really see Hov doing what Nipsey does, and I don't really see Hov. I think he take care of his people, but he ain't really been doing something. And it makes me think like, do motherfuckers really just be clueless?
Yeah, they really be clueless. Like the Barclays Center is where Hov used to hustle at.
Nah, they brought that up, and they was like, well, he brought the Nets to Brooklyn, but he helped gentrify. And I was like, well, first of all, let's be honest. That move was going to happen with or without Hov. And Hov's not responsible for gentrification. You know what I'm saying? So
it's an inevitable thing.
But Hov, it's on record of other rappers, including Nipsey Hussle, who talked about how Hov helped them behind the scenes. And I don't think that everybody should be like a soldier on the front line.
Yeah. Everybody's not doing it for the glory.
What do you think, like, when it comes to people like Hov, like, no matter how much work they do, it's like people just don't see it. What do you think that's about?
Well, I mean, because if he's doing it, if he puts it out there, it's like he's looking for a highlight reel. But he's really not. If he's doing it out of the kindness of the heart. Like, he never said that he paid all Meek Mill's legal fees. Meek Mill came out and said that. Meek Mill said, Jay-Z paid my lawyers. I couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hov never brought that up. He never said anything about it. So I mean, that's just how Hov moves, and because he's at the point where he don't need the publicity. If he's doing something, he do it because he wants to.
Now, do you think that's a whole like you take care of the people that you like, and that's not the same thing as being charitable?
It's still being charitable. It's still money that he ain't had to spend.
Listen, I'm looking at it like this, right? First of all, Hov has done stuff. We know about stories of Hov going to the hood and actually doing things. But my thing is, if the boss take care of the underbosses, then the underbosses take care of the soldiers.
Yeah, it just trickles down the line.
Yeah, that's. I mean, even if that's the case, like, what's wrong with that? If he taking care of people that he rock with, if you don't take care of Meek, who you think take care of the Dream Chasers? You know what I'm saying? Like. Who's going to take care of them? You know what I mean?
If down real quick.
You take away Jimmy and Cam and, Jules, who's going to take care of the rest of them diplomats?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who do things in the neighborhood and stuff like that. Things that we'll never see, we'll never hear about is my question.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. I feel like people who have a certain, feeling about, like, Hov in particular, they already have an idea. So it's like, it don't matter what they do. They feel like they're not doing enough. They always feel they should be doing more. You know what I mean? Like the criticism with him and Beyonce at one point was like they don't do enough. Like you remember Ferguson? There are people who really wanted Beyonce and Hov to be down there throwing their fist up. And I was like, no, me personally, I was like, no. first of all, their music is inspiring enough. But secondly, I don't want Beyonce and them down there throwing their fists up because they get popped like everybody else. Then what? That's how I look at it. I don't mind Hov being with the governor actually talking about laws that can actually be changed.
And they actually bailed everybody out in Baltimore.
Dude.
They bailed everybody out. And I actually know one of the people that actually got bailed out by him.
Oh, yeah. I remember you told me about that, right? Yeah.
So, they bailed out everybody that got arrested in the riots in Baltimore. So, and that was done without, without a public statement or something like
tweet,
that.
A selfie.
It just happened to just leak out. So.
Yeah. My thing is, I remember when Reverend Al Sharpton came to Howard when I was in school, and I remember he was like, he doesn't need everybody to go to jail because somebody got to be outside to bail somebody out. And ever since he said that, it always resonated with me because that's a valid point.
Somebody got to be out. Out.
That's like you and I. If we out there, I'm like, yo, who gonna call our family and come get Jay and all of that?
Somebody got to live to tell the story.
Like somebody got to be the person to get away. You know what I mean?
Somebody got to live to tell the story.
Yeah. The only thing about the B-sides is that I hope Hov kind of do something with the content where we can buy it or watch it on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Like the way, his wife just did with Baychella, because the B-sides is kind of like, I watch it on everybody's Instagram, but I would really like to watch the performance.
Yeah, I wish I was there too.
Yeah. So, a shout out to him, with that. With him saying what he was saying about Nipsey, do you think, now that we're still going through how we feel about Nipsey Hussle's murder, you think there's anybody that can kind of replace what Nipsey was doing, like, in the hood, especially, like, in L.A. in particular?
Well, I mean, there are people doing things like that. I mean, that we don't congratulate. I say, like, Killer Mike, David Banner. They may not be doing it from a monetary standpoint, but they're definitely doing it from a knowledge standpoint, an uplifting standpoint. Where they're
Trade the Truth too.
Helping, Trade the Truth is another one in Houston who's doing a lot that actually helps out that community. They may not be buying up everything, and another one, Slim Thug, who's another one who has the construction company who rebuilds homes. Chameleonaires
in Real Estate.
Yeah, Chameleonaires. Yeah. So it's a lot of people that's doing it. They just don't have it, and unless they die, we won't know.
Yeah, and that's sad, right? Like, it shouldn't have to be that. And I do feel like one thing that Nipsey's passing did do is that it kind of made some of the people wake up a little bit more. Like, I feel like we're going to see a different YG. Yeah. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I feel like, and I don't mean like a 180 difference, but you see his latest video, Stop Snitching, and it's pretty much the slaves snitching on other slaves trying to be free. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when you hear the song, you not think that's what you're going to make the video about, but it pretty much makes sense. And you can already see YG kind of like, yo, this was really my man, and he was really trying to show me something. So shout out to Hov for, recognizing that. You know what I mean? That was a big deal. You was talking about bailing people out. Big up to your guy T.I. because T.I. had helped bail out 23 prisoners, nonviolent offenders, with the help of New Birth Baptist Church.
Yeah, in
time for Easter. Yeah, that was a big deal, right? And you had people who was criticizing that. Like, I saw somebody online who was like, well, I mean, T.I. just didn't do it alone. Like, dude.
Doesn't matter.
What does it take for people to really just give somebody that respect?
Clout chasing.
Right. And it's like, I don't understand that.
It's at all-time high.
I mean, you ask those 23 people, do they feel like who? First of all, when you're in jail, you don't care who gets you out.
You just happy you out. You getting out.
You don't care Donald Trump bail you out. Like,
you just want that commission to say
that's all you care about. You know what I mean? But the fact that T.I. is actually doing something is always like, well, he can be doing more. And I just don't understand, like, what is the more that people actually want? Or you feel like they doing that for clout chasing. Like, I don't understand it. Okay, so it's T.I.'s fault that the blogs aren't mentioned in the church? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't.
No.
Right.
It's not his fault at all.
It's not his fault at all, man. So big ups to T.I. for that. And big ups to the people who got home for Easter. Because even if you didn't celebrate Easter, the fact that you got home for the holiday, that's a big deal. So shout out to you on that.
All right, my man Offset.
Offset had reunited with his pops after 23 years.
That's tough.
That's
a long time.
Over 11.9 million followers had viewed it. And, Offset talked about his pops that he'd been gone. Even before the reunion, he said he wanted his father to pull up and he ain't got no hard feelings.
That's maturity right there.
Oh, isn't it?
That's maturity. Well, Offset's baby mother even said Cardi B has done a lot for him and helped him grow a lot more.
It must have. Because I don't even know the last time I talked to my pops.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough, so the fact that he was able to show that kind of compassion.
Yeah, well, mine's dead, but.
Yeah, I mean, so shout out to anybody who can forgive that. But that's a good practice that you don't necessarily see. Somebody like really looking out for him. Because let's face it, you really hear about the superstar becoming rich and then the father reaching out to him, and the superstar's like, yeah, he don't want to hear it. You remember?
I don't need you now.
Yeah, it happened to Shaq years ago.
Yeah, like, I don't need you now.
Yeah, so, you know, he said he don't even care if his father need money. Like, if his father need money, he got him. Like, he just wanted to see him. So that's a big deal, man. So shout out to Offset for that, man, for showing that, being a great example. Also, what was up this week, Lil Nas X, you know, Old Town Road, it became the shortest, quickest song to be #1 on the Billboard in over 53 years. He even got Billy Ray Cyrus in a remix. Because, you know,
Billy Ray Cyrus go in too.
Yeah, because
definitely killed.
They were questioning it being a country music song, and they took it off, so he went and got Billy Ray Cyrus. So
now you can't say nothing. Now got you now, bitch.
Well, the coincidence with that though, they got on Billy Ray Cyrus. That happened to him years ago with Billboard, where they tried to say one of his songs wasn't necessarily country. So that was also significance in that.
Got you now, bitch.
And he's also scheduled to perform at the Stagecoach Festival, which is considered like a huge country event. So when you have all that, and then you have your guy like Dave East who came in and was like, yo, that song sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think Dave was like trolling, or he has a point? He was like, yo, I don't know where hip hop is going with this.
Because he took it as a hip hop song, which is not. I mean, it's a mixture. It's like it's a hybrid. So it's a country song with a little sauce on it.
Yeah. With
a little sauce. Just maybe too much sauce.
But you definitely feel like it's a country song where Billy Ray jumped on that board.
Yeah, it's still.
And murdered it.
He definitely murdered it.
Like, he should have murdered it, yo.
Like that, he definitely added to the song. It wasn't like he just got on the song. Oh, this is a country song now. No, he got on the song and actually did his job.
Well, first of all, the songs are cheap. Because the song's only like a minute and some change, so the spins is going to get, as far as on the amounts that's going to get played, is going to get played because of that all. Because every time you think the song is just getting started, it's over. Because if you ever put the song on repeat, you don't know when it begins and when it ends.
Well, that's the whole thing now. Most songs are 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's the whole game now.
Now, break that down, bro, to people who don't necessarily understand that. Because you a DJ and you play records. What's the significance of that?
What's the significance of it? Because they want you to play the record again and again and again and again and again. Because they get paid for spins. And one spin ain't going to do it. They get like, what is it? Like, you need 1,500 spins to count as 15,000 streams to count as one record being sold. Okay. Yeah, so that's how that goes.
So they're purposely going into the studio to make these songs short.
Yeah, basically.
Could it be that there's some truth?
I had a conversation with Wiz Khalifa, and he told me. Because I was like, well, he came out with one song, and we was talking, me and Wiz Khalifa was talking. I was like, yeah, like the song rock. I just wish you would put one more verse on it. He's like, but you played it back again though, right? I was like, yeah, I did, because I wanted to hear the song out. He's like, that's what I wanted. So he intentionally made the song 2 minutes long.
Does that cheapen the art a little bit when you hear that? Does that a little bit? Because you're going in there purposely to try to get these spins, but you're not really doing the fulfillment of an artist? Or do you think it don't matter?
I mean, they got to make their money. So, I mean, it makes you want more because of the way the music is now, because of the way we devour it and we're over it so quick. So, we kind of brought it on ourselves.
You talking about we as a culture all together?
Yeah, we kind of brought it on ourselves.
Yeah, I guess. You can. It's just that it's going to get to a point where it's like songs going to be like 60 seconds.
They ain't going to get that bad.
It seems like it, bro. And it seems like it's going to suffer for that because it's like it's going to get to the point where a song's going to be a straight hook. Because Old Town Road is almost a straight just hook. Like, cause I can't tell you what they really saying in the verses.
It was a theme song in the NFL draft this weekend too. So that's.
Oh really?
It was all over that.
Yeah, I can't really tell you. Shout out to Drake because he was in London. He performed with J. Cole, and he also said that him and J. Cole are going to have more collaboration in the future. Do we really want to see that?
Yeah.
I want to see Cole and Kendrick. Am I the last person? Yeah. I don't know about Cole and Drake. I don't know if I care.
You don't want no poetic? That was Kendrick and Drake. You want no poetic justice?
That's not the collabo I've been waiting on. I've been waiting on Cole and Kendrick.
Okay, I haven't been. Too. They supposed to have a mixtape coming.
Yeah, they already both said that's pretty much the idea is pretty dead. My thing is, don't give me a substitute. Don't give me Drake and don't give me Cole. That's not really. I mean, is there a really desire for that?
Of course, it's always a desire for anything Drake and anything J. Cole. Come on now.
I mean, do hardcore Cole fans really want to hear him with Drake?
Yeah, they want to hear him. They want to hear him go off on Drake. They
Really?
want to hear him kill Drake. Yes, they do.
So they can be bragging all over their little boards on Twitter and everything, talk about how. But we already know Cole is nice.
Of course, but it's putting the top two together and letting them go at it.
So you pretty much saying they just want to set up Drake as a punching bag.
Yeah.
And then on the other
when
end,
you're on top, everybody pays to see you lose. Kind of like the Mayweather effect.
Yeah,
we never watched the Mayweather fights.
I definitely don't watch Mayweather to win.
Yeah, we watching to see if in fact, because his fights were boring for one.
Hella boring.
Yeah, so we see for the fact that he may lose finally. He just never did.
Yeah, his fights are hella boring. Drake fights are hella boring. I mean, Floyd fights are hella boring.
So yeah, that was it. We just wanted to see if he was ever going to lose, and he didn't. So
now, okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Now, I know we want to talk about the NFL draft, but before we get into that, when we was off, Magic Johnson had just stepped down and just quit, right? And so there was some controversy because he didn't let Jenny Buss know. Like, he literally came out and told the reporters, and Jenny Buss had to find out like everybody else found out. But later on, there was some news that came out that Magic Johnson apparently got mistakenly emailed, like CC, and on the email it was saying that he was doing pretty much a sucky job. So he felt disappointed by that. Does that validate him quitting the way he did, if that's true? Or he still should have told Jenny, even though that they came up together, he'd been knowing her for years.
He still should have told her, but he felt how he felt. He was in his feelings.
Let me. So I never told you this, right? I was saving this for this. So that this happened to me when I was working at this radio station. So you know how we got the production studio where you go in and do your voiceovers and do your commercials, but you also got the studio where you actually do your show. Mm-hmm. So every day after my shift, I would go into the production studio to do my voiceovers and also do my private projects, right? Mm-hmm. So one time, this other jock came in like, "Oh man, you in here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll leave out, man. I'm just really doing some personal stuff." He's like, "No, go ahead, man. You straight. So I'm like, "All right." So I stay in there, right? So the studios, have mics inside where you can kind of like talk to the other person on the inside. Correct. So they had
listen to what's going on.
So they had it on. They had it on, right? So I'm hearing the conversation. He goes into the other studio with the other jock, and I'm hearing the conversation. I'm like, where are these voices coming from? I look down. He's like, "Yeah, man, this dude is in there all day." And then the girl is telling him, "Just go in there. He's only doing some stuff for him. Just go in there. Just get his ass up out of there. Just grab him and get him up out of there." And mind you, we also had a camera where you can see. So I'm seeing her being animated, like, grab him by the neck, just get him up out of there. Like, she's like hyping him up. So I'm looking at TV. I'm like,
I wish this nigga would.
Now, I could have talked in there and said, "I heard you," but I just want to see how this was going to play out. You know what I mean? But he was like, "No, it's all right. It's just effed up." You know what I mean? And all he did was just huff and puff. Now, I wanted to cuss them out and confront them, but I was just like, I just kept doing my work. And to this day, I never really said anything to him, but it did change the climate of how I felt about that. And I'm saying, if you Magic Johnson on the higher level, and you came up with Jenny, you reading some emails, and depending on what those emails say, you might feel like, F it. I ain't got to do this, especially when you imagine you about to get $1 billion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, F it. So my thing is, do you still feel like, that's wrong? I don't really think, if that is true, I don't really say that's being wrong.
It ain't wrong. Like I said, he was in his feelings. How you feel. So it's really no justification, no yes, no, or should he have done it. He felt how he felt, and he got up out of there.
I'm just thinking one bad turn deserves another's backslap. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Magic Johnson, I don't apologize, and I'm not even a hundredaire. Magic Johnson almost a billionaire. So him apologizing is...
Yeah, he wasn't doing it for the money.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't there for the money. He was there because he actually loved the Lakers.
And he wanted to help LeBron. So
yeah, he wanted to see them. He wanted to see the Lakers get back to glory days.
Right. How we looking with the draft, homie? You happy?
The draft, my Eagles looking great. I don't know. Y'all got the tight end from Iowa.
Yeah.
The next Gronkowski, they said. So I don't know what else y'all did, but we got our guy. We got Miles Sanders, Penn State. So and we got an offensive lineman. That's all we needed. And we got some DNs and stuff like that.
You feeling good?
Kyler Murray went number 1, and Josh Rosen got drafted, got traded the next day to Miami. That was the big deal of the day. Who else was?
He had unfollowed Arizona too.
Yeah, he unfollowed right after that draft.
How far are we coming along with people checking out who you unfollow?
Oh yeah, that's been happening for a while.
In football, yo, that's just I don't know. Times have changed.
But he knew what time it was. Yeah, it was. I knew he was gone today. I knew he was going to be gone that next day because there was no way possible they could have them two in the same room.
Nah.
Like you just, I was the number one pick last year, and now you the number one. You the actual number one pick in the whole draft. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen.
I like Josh Rosen because he seemed to be a very conscious individual, but at the end of the day, that's what the game of football is. So
yeah, he be all right. He comes from a big wealthy family, so
he been expressed. He don't really need football.
Yeah, so
yeah,
he going to Miami, and we're gonna see how that works out.
Well.
Yeah, but on another note, new music, Schoolboy Q Trash Talk is out.
It's crash talk, bro.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Crash talk. See, that's what happens when you move so fast.
I said trash talk.
It's crash talk.
But he got a trash bag on his head.
It's crash talk, bro. Crash talk.
He got a trash bag on his head.
Yeah, I ain't really got a chance to digest it because, Schoolboy Q, I'm a big fan of TDE altogether. So anytime they drop something, I'm all for it. But I didn't really get a chance to really digest it. But it sounds good so far, but I need to really, take it in. Anderson .Paak had dropped Ventura, and he got Andre 3000 on there, Smokey Robinson, Brandy, Jasmine Sullivan, and the late great Nate Dogg. And Ventura is definitely better than the album that came out before. The album that came out before was somewhat of a disappointment. Are you an Anderson .Paak fan? You listen to his records at all?
A little bit, so.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his.
I catch the wave when it comes around.
I mean, I just think he's really underrated. The last album was called Oxnard. I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. How you look at that? Is that how you pronounce it? Oxnard? Am I tripping? Right here?
Yeah, Oxnard.
Oxnard. Okay, yeah. I mean, all his albums are named after cities in California. So, but that album was kind of a disappointment. It was dope. It was just okay, but he had been setting the standard way too high. So I think that this is the album that he worked with when Dre was sleeping.
So Dre was sleeping.
Because the last one, you felt like Dre was more involved, but I don't think that Dre should have been involved. I think Drake should have been a little bit more hands off, to be honest with you. And I think that this is an album that he made that when Dre was like, okay, cool, I like it. I think Dre actually was a fan of his because if you Anderson .Paak, you're not going to tell Dre, don't work with me. You're not going to tell him that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Audacity.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. You're going to let Dre come in there and say his stuff. You know what I mean? You're going to pretty much follow him. But you probably would have benefited if Dre just would have let you get the studio and been, just cut the check like the way he did with Kendrick.
Just cut the check.
Yeah, you probably would have.
I'm gone.
Right.
Here's your beat. Give my money in. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I mean,
what I came through.
Yeah. What do you say to that? I mean, if Dre comes in and starts helping you with a whole bunch of stuff, you're not gonna tell Dre with stuff. His ideas are a little bit, messing you up. You're gonna let Dre be Dre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
just fall in line.
Yeah. So this new one, I can tell that he waited till Dre leave. Kind of like, all right, yeah, Dre, you good. Go ahead, and go to sleep. Yeah, go ahead. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, we
change. This is what we're gonna do.
This is what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna let him put that album out, but we're gonna have this one ready in the deck. You know what I mean? So, shout out to him because that joint really does go hard, man. You get a chance, you should really check it out. Also, this past week, a couple anniversaries. 25th anniversary of Illmatic.
That's right. Nas like.
No, that's
no.
Dog, where you be at, bro? Where you be at? No.
NY State of Mind.
No, yes. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Is it safe? Can you make the argument that Illmatic might be one of the greatest hip hop albums? Looking back 25 years?
We already know that.
Greatest? I mean, like
greatest?
greatest?
The greatest, but it's one of the greatest.
What would you? What's your greatest album?
All Eyes on Me.
I don't even know if that's even Tupac's greatest.
Well, everybody says Me Against the World, but I'll say All Eyes on Me.
It's definitely Me Against the World.
All Eyes on Me.
Okay. Why would you say All Eyes on Me is better than Illmatic? Just tell your point of view.
I don't know. It's just a full body of work. It took me a lot of different places. He had the beef with Biggie where he was sending a lot of those shots. And that's
when he was doing the subliminal before,
yeah. Yeah, that was before Hit 'Em Up, because Hit 'Em Up came out on the single to
Wasn't nothing subliminal, right.
Yeah, it was nothing subliminal. But, and he had a lot of records. He had Heaven Ain't Hard to Find, where it took you one place, and then he had What's Your Phone Number that took you another place, and he had The Hearts of Men took you another place, and he had No More Pain, and then he had Ambitions of a Rider. Then he had, it was just all over the place. It was just every record hit a certain place.
You think there's any truth that
and
Nas...
all about you talking about the groupies.
Yeah, that's true. Is there any truth that Nas never made an album as good as Illmatic? Do you think there's any truth to that?
It's whole truth. I mean, the first is usually the best.
Does that work against you?
Yeah, he just set the bar high. I mean, Jay-Z competes against Reasonable Doubt. Young Jeezy competes against Thug Motivation 101.
So what do you say when you have an album that's critically acclaimed and you never really outdo that album critically, but you outsell it, right? Versus when you got somebody like a Get Rich or Die Trying, which outsold, it's 50's highest selling album.
Definitely never gonna touch that again.
Right, and 50's. So like, what position would you rather be in? Like Nelly. Nelly's first album is definitely his highest selling album. You know what I mean? So and Nelly's never gonna touch that number wise.
We're talking about a lot of people that got more money than us right now.
Right, but my question is, what would you rather, like, as far as being your stake in the game, what would you rather have? Would you rather have, I mean, if you're not, would you rather be the Illmatic, just high critical, but you outsold it 10 times over? Or would you rather be the Nelly, where you got the check the first time, you like, I could eat off this for the rest of my life?
I'd take the Illmatic. But I keep outselling it and outselling it, because then I'm making more money residually. Rather than living off one album. I want to live off multiple albums.
Yeah.
But would I be mad at the end of the day either way? Hell no.
Nah. But I do agree. I think the albums that we name, I think Get Rich or Die Trying may come close to actually being critically successful and commercially successful. As far as both, it's not too many albums you can say that had both. When you think about that, like The Chronic is one of them. When I think about Snoop Dogg's first album is one of those where it was critically and commercially successful. Like Nelly was commercially successful, but dudes was thinking Nelly was like, nah. Everybody was hate. They thought Nelly was the worst. Right, they thought he was the worst thing in hip hop at that point.
It was just fun.
Which should show you should stop complaining, because you thought Nelly was the worst, and you look at what we got now. It's like, I'll take 1,000 Nellys. I'm just saying, as far as what you was making that comparison.
When he battled KRS-One.
Oh, Jesus. That was horrible. Probably the worst battle in history, to be honest with you.
We also got the Outkast.
Yep, they celebrate their 25th anniversary, also Southern Playalistic.
Cadillac Music.
Now, that's an interesting one, because that's my favorite Outkast album, but it's not considered their best.
And definitely didn't sell the most.
No. What would you think Outkast's best is?
AT Aliens, baby.
Yeah. I can say that AT Aliens was a better album, even though Southern Playalistic was my favorite. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to acknowledge that, though. Because I think AT Aliens, I think Southern Playalistic, when you listen to it, Dre at that time is just a little bit better than Big Boy. But when you listen to AT Aliens, it's becoming apparent that Andre is 3,000. Like, he becomes 3,000.
The artist storytelling on that joint, man.
No, that's not the album, bro.
AT Aliens?
Yo, dog, where you be at? I'm going to keep asking you where you be at, man. No, that's Aquemini.
That's Aquemini?
Yes.
It is Aquemini. Oh, Aquemini is my favorite one, though. Aquemini is my favorite one.
I want you to know your name is DJ Akademiks. You should be knowing this stuff.
Yeah, but Aquemini is my favorite album.
Okay. So Aquemini is the favorite one.
Yeah,
well, actually, that might be the one that's the 5 mic one.
Yeah, Aquemini is my favorite one.
Man, remember we used to care about 5 mics?
Yeah. Remember we used to actually read magazines?
And actually used to care about what they said.
Yeah.
When the last time you read a critical thinking piece about an album and cared, and it swayed you?
Well, I mean, I still hear about thinking pieces, just not in a magazine.
And it don't really make you think that you're not going to buy the album. You'll just read it to hear what they had to say.
Yeah, I'm listening to the album off the break. I mean, we hear reviews on the albums after we listen to it.
Yeah, but back in the day, you used to actually go to the source and go to the back and actually see what the mic got, and then be mad about it, like if it didn't get the mics. Mm-hmm. And be upset that it didn't get the mics that you thought it got. Those days are just done. Also, an anniversary, but it's not 25th anniversary, was Mobb Deep Infamous.
Yeah, that's a little more.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, I don't think Mobb Deep ever made an album as good as that one. I think Hell on Earth was dope, but I don't think they actually made an album as good as the Infamous, when you think about that.
What's the one with Quiet Storm on it?
Murder Music.
Murder Music, I thought so. Yeah, Murder Music. That was a good album.
That was probably their most commercially successful one.
It had the record Burn on it. It had the song with Lil Kim, Quiet Storm.
That didn't have Burn either, bro. I gotta. No, Burn had Infamy.
Burn was Infamy.
Yeah.
That record, I actually bought that.
I bought that record too.
That album was horrible. It had 2 songs. It had Pray For Me and Burn. I don't know why he made that mistake. That record was so mad. I was so mad I bought it after that.
Well, remember, that's when they were going through the whole Jay-Z, when Jay-Z had just dissed him off Blueprint. So Prodigy was on some like, I'm going to F you up, but it just seemed like Jay just took the steam out of him at that point. Because that's when apparently the picture of Prodigy, dressed in the dancing gear, was on the Hot 97 Sun's, screen. His, street code was in it and all that other stuff. And then they did the record on 112, and I was like, yo, was this Mobb Deep and 112. That's not something I'm really thinking about.
And then they signed to 50 Cent.
Yeah, after that they did sign to 50 Cent. Yeah, and that just when you think about it on paper, that should have went better than it was because it was all from Queens. It was all love, but for some reason it didn't. It didn't. They didn't seem right. But that's when G Unit was signing everybody though. Yeah. Because remember G Unit was trying to sign Mace.
Yeah,
but
MOP and everything.
Yeah, but no, I just don't think that they made something as great as Infamous though. When you think about it, you go back, you listen to Infamous, you listen. I think Hell on Earth comes close, but it definitely is not as good as Infamous though. That's just to me, that's still their best work. I wanted to tease you with this anniversary. Your boy Chino XL, remember him? His anniversary was this past month. Yo, Chino XL might have the worst, shortest diss.
I remember Tupac just saying, Chino XL, fuck you too.
Yo, that was the shortest bar that had the biggest impact in hip hop history.
And he told LL he'll rock his bells.
But he didn't kill LL's career though. Like when you think about Chino XL, I can't name you a Chino XL record.
Who?
Exactly. I don't even know how dudes sound. I remember at the time when I was a kid, I didn't even know who Chino XL was.
Light-skinned dude with braids.
No, I think he was like Latin. I think he's a Latin dude. Yeah.
Almost white.
Yeah, I think he was a Latin guy. And I think he had said something about Pac, and I didn't know who the dude was.
That guy went off.
Yeah.
He didn't take that too easy.
But that wasn't even a half a bar. Remember when Jay-Z said you only get half a bar? That's Pac technically started to half a bar. He was just like, fuck you too. And we that was it. So when I saw that it was an anniversary, I just want to shout him out.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he sound. Even now, I don't know how Chino XL sound. Chino XL was to walk through this door right now, I'll be like, what up? I can't tell you he sucked. All I know is what Pac said. That's not a way. You know how they say there's no such thing as bad publicity?
Yeah.
That's an example that it is.
I asked that to Ja Rule.
Yeah. I wonder what Ja Rule has to think. Big ups to the OG Ice-T. He had released a hip-hop alphabet book. And it's a children book with kid-friendly rhymes. You thought you would have grew up to see that? Ice-T?
I mean...
New Jack Hustler writing children's books?
Yeah, he also made Cop Killer, then played the cop on TV, so...
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
So there was seeds to it.
Where's the bag? That's all it is.
It was
Give me another bag. I gotta feed these kids.
I mean, he's been on Law and Order almost 20 years now. He's been playing a cop every Law and Order comes out every Wednesday, every week.
He played a cop on New Jack City.
Yeah. So I mean, and told you Cop Killer. So he's in there. So that's just that's what it is with him. So shout out to him. But the fact that he wrote a kid book, I just
Hey, I can see it. Nothing surprises me now. Let's talk about your movie that I know you saw, Game of Thrones.
That's not a movie, bro.
I mean, show.
See, that's why you shouldn't jump ahead.
I was talking about two different things.
That's why you shouldn't jump ahead. You should leave narration to me, bro. As the moderation.
Narration.
That's why you shouldn't jump ahead.
Avengers Endgame.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah.
The show Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, no, I saw Avengers Endgame. So you ain't got a chance to see it yet, or
no? I haven't seen it yet.
Are you up on any Marvel movies at all?
Yeah, I'm up on all the Marvel movies except for this one.
So, so you do?
Yeah, I watch Marvel movies.
Okay, you know what's dog? Cause I ain't gonna front, dog. It's hard to tell with you, bro. Cause sometimes the most popular stuff you be like looking at me clueless. So sometimes I gotta watch.
Just because I don't like Game of Thrones.
No, bro. There's been other stuff I've asked you about. You looked at me like you ain't know what the hell I was talking about. Okay, so are you interested? Did you see Infinity War?
No, I didn't see it.
How, Bray?
Well, I might have seen it.
So, dog, there's no way where you might have seen it. You would have known you saw Infinity War, bro. There's no way. Everybody walked out of that movie theater.
Infinity War. I saw Avengers Infinity War.
How did Infinity War end, bro?
That's the one I had Spider-Man and everybody.
How did it end? Just answer the question. How did it end?
With the guy who lost his arm, I forgot his name, from Captain America. He comes back at the end and they tell you Black Panther will reappear or something like that.
Bro, I'm talking about Infinity War. How did Infinity War end?
I just told you.
No, you didn't. You said guy lost arm and then something.
Look, man, I can't remember. You got me on the spot.
Because you ain't see it.
I did see it.
You did not see it at all.
I saw it.
You did not see it at all. Because everybody knows how Infinity War ended.
I saw it.
You can go ask a bum off the street and they can tell you how Infinity War ended.
Saw it.
No. First of all, as far as the Endgame, anybody ever saw Endgame? So here's what I will tell you. So I saw Endgame twice. And in both theaters, there were people in there sobbing. Like legit crying. Because the thing about Endgame is that people have been waiting 10 years for this type of movie. 10 years.
Where everybody dies.
I mean, where everybody pretty much died in the last one, technically. But people have been waiting 10 years. And it was just it gave you closure. Because, it's really hard to end things. When you think about movies and you think about like sequels and stuff like that, or you think about TV shows and think about like how they ended. Like not a lot of TV shows really ended good. For example, Martin. We kind of erased the last season in our head, right?
When he turned the light off.
That whole season. Remember him and Gina went in the same room? Gina was gone for like 12 episodes. Yeah. It's hard to close things out, And so Avengers Endgame, people have been rocking with all these movies, you got to understand, for 10 years, bro. 10 years. So the actors are not going to play these roles again, all that stuff. I mean, it's the last movie regardless. I'm not going to give it away right now because it's still fresh, but it was definitely emotional. Like, people were definitely in there, like, crying, like, holding each other. Like, you thought you were seeing some, like, Romeo and Juliet type film or some drama film. No, man, it was really, like, it was an emotional wave that was coming over. So, but the movie was definitely great. If you're a fan of the Marvel movies, it definitely gives you closure. You're definitely going to feel satisfied, but it is a solid 3 hours. Do not see that movie past 9 p.m.
Solid 3 hours.
When I tell you solid, I looked at the clock. I saw a 7 o'clock movie. We walked out at 10. Like, it started at 7:01. We walked out at 10.
10:30.
No, 10:01 is when the credits start rolling. Like, it's a 3 hour movie. Like, straight up. So make sure you see that movie. Don't go hanging out with your friends. Don't go get drunk. None of that stuff. Like, make sure you see that movie before 7 o'clock. Don't see that movie later than 7. Because otherwise, you're going to be in that boy knocked out. I don't care how good it is. Because that movie is 3 strong hours. But it needs to be. Because it took them 10 years to make a movie like that. You know what I mean?
So they can explain everything.
So they can explain everything. And also, they literally took a piece from all of the movies. I mean, it's been over like 25 movies. So they literally took a piece from everything. And mind you, I'm a comic book geek, and I'm somebody who watch all the films, right? Even I had to walk out of there and Google some stuff. Like, I had to walk out of there and be like, yo, what was that? Like, it was some random stuff that was in there that I had to revive my memory on. So you really got to watch that movie. You really got to know what's going on. You really got to pay attention. Make sure you see Captain Marvel, the movie that's already out now. Make sure you see that because that's not a filler. That movie has some importance into what's going on right now. But Endgame, yeah, thumbs up with that. Pretty dope. Game of Thrones, right at the time when we're recording, the episode that's probably going to be traumatic actually comes on tomorrow. And so by the time people hear this, they're probably going to be crying some more. Because
this is the last season of Game of Thrones.
This is the last season, but this episode coming up in particular is the battle. And apparently it took them, there's been rumors that it took them 3 months to film this one episode.
Oh, man.
Because of the battle scene alone. And that cast members were crying on set because it was like the last time they saw each other. Because you gotta understand, Game of Thrones doesn't have a main character. Game of Thrones killed their main character season 1.
Sheesh.
So Game of Thrones doesn't. That's why you never hear about Game of Thrones, Best Actor, Best Emmy, stuff like that, because they don't have a main character. So everybody dies. So if you happen to be somebody who has survived, you understand? You happen to be somebody who has survived Game of Thrones, me and you as an actor, and we've been on this run for 10 years, we didn't develop a bond. We cool. Mm-hmm. But if you get killed 3rd episode into the last season, it's kind of heartbreaking. So word is that the episode that's getting ready to come on is about to be traumatic. People been wavering like, yo, who's going to die? Because this war, this battle that's happening right now that's going to happen is supposed to be extra traumatic. So it's going to be a traumatic weekend for people. Because if you don't watch Game of Thrones and then you saw Avengers Endgame, you're going to be sad. If you watch Game of Thrones and you didn't watch Avengers, you're going to be sad. And Lord, if you watch both of them, they're going to have to call somebody to hug you. Because that's going to be too much in one weekend for you to watch, for you to consume. That's all I'm saying. So it's going to be heartbreaking, man. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going to be heartbreaking. So you should definitely check it out. You should definitely check out Endgame. And I don't really think anything else have popped off this week. I think, the playoffs. Oh, Dame Dillon, the shot.
Yeah.
Did you check that out?
He had the audacity of a 40-foot shot that just sent y'all home, and he just waved at everybody, and he gave everybody one of the memes for the rest of the summer.
Is Russell Westbrook a disappointment?
No, he just ran.
First round, past 3 years, he's been out of there. First round.
He's not a disappointment. He can't do it all himself. The West is tough. That's not the East.
He has PG on this team. He has Paul George on this team, who was checking Dame Dollar.
Who hurt his shoulder. Who couldn't shoot.
He was still balling.
Yeah, but he's also had a hurt shoulder.
I'm just saying, he's going. I think he's actually doing too much. I think he should change up his play, because I think he tried to go for the stats too much, more than he actually wants to actually go to the next round.
I can't say that, because when you're in the playoffs, all the stats are done. Nobody cares about stats in the playoffs.
He does.
Not in the playoffs. That's regular season, not in the playoffs.
He does. He seems to care. But I think we're seeing the second coming of something good, though. I think the fact that Dame Dollar, you know what I mean, Damian Lillard, I think we're seeing something great. I don't think Damian Lillard has to win the championship for him to be immortalized, because I think that shot's going to be played over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah, because they definitely give him bounce next season.
Series. Well, it's just like when Jordan scored.
He don't have enough team.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially in the West.
He can't. There's no way they're gonna be able to beat Houston.
But you think about Jordan's playoff record. What did he score, like 85 against Boston that game or whatever?
They lost.
He actually lost that, right? But it didn't matter because people were still talking about that game right there alone. And I think Damian Lillard is already going to be a timeless piece, because he bust that shot in Paul George's straight face. So
yeah, that
ain't nothing you can really do about that. Like,
and I gave him 50 points too.
Yeah, and he had 50. So shout out to Dame doing his thing, man. The round of playoffs is going real good. But I think that's about it, man. I think we pretty much done covered everything, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You got anything coming up?
So working on some things. Won't speak on them yet. Won't jinx them, but they coming.
You really think Jinx is real?
Hey.
I mean, I'm just being real. You think Jinx is real?
Trying to take a chance at this moment.
Yeah, you just, I mean, yeah. Sometimes you can't, because honestly, professionally, you just can't, because the meeting that you be on your way to, they'll cancel the meeting.
True.
I always think about when Tyrese almost messed up the $1 billion for Dre. And at first you thought it was a rumor, but they actually put it in a documentary, like Tyrese put that on live. He really almost effed up the $1 billion. I was like, ooh, that's real. You really can't be celebrating before the check is cleared. So yeah, I guess not, man. Well, shout out to you. You know, whatever you got going on. As usual, make sure you check out all of our platforms. We're on Podomatic, we're on SoundCloud, we're on YouTube. Make sure you check our link in our bio. Make sure you follow us at HHMS98. Follow me on my Twitter at JayHall Radio. Follow this guy right here at DJ Akademiks. Be blessed, for successful, and as usually, we'll talk to you soon. We ghost!
It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show.